Willie D Live.
Imagine you can't cough up mucus. Imagine they give you a cough suppressive medicine. Imagine they give you Claritin to stop you from sneezing because you're having this allergy, or you got these markers, these histamine markers in your body that's trying to get rid of particles from basically going through the blood and brain barrier and reaching your brain. But instead, you take Claritin to stop you from sneezing. Instead, you take cough suppressant to stop you from coughing, to break up that mucus. Imagine if that stuff stay in you. This turns into cancer. This turns into all the different so-called type of diseases that we talking about now. But even these are just late stages, last healing mechanisms before you die. Cancer is a last healing. It's the body's last attempt to get rid of all of the different cytotoxins and metabolic waste that have been built up into your bloodstream from you eating the wrong foods. When you even look at the cancer and you look at tumors, if you pop a tumor open, you're going to see lymphatic fluid and you're going to see blood. If you test the blood and the lymphatic fluid, you're going to see glucose and fructose inside the bloodstream. And then inside the lymphatic fluid, you're going to see macrophages. You're going to see basophils. You're going to see neutrophils. You're going to see monophils. This is all stuff that's a part of what they call the immunological system. The immune system is meant to heal the body and keep the body in a balance of homeostasis. So if a cancer tumor is bad, why did it take all the trash that was in the bloodstream and it put it in the trash bag for me, for I won't die of alkalosis or acidosis? Why would it take all of the damaged cells out of the tissues and put it in this bag that we call a tumor if a tumor is bad? Why does it stay away from robbing the bloodstream? Why does it? And then, in fact, it goes through a process called angiogenesis, where it will create new bloodstream to make sure it keeps feeding itself, to keep collecting the bad waste from the body, for the body won't become what they'll call septic.
Just to be clear, are you saying that cancer and tumors are good for us?
Cancers and tumors are good for you when the body has a bunch of toxins in them. Yes, it is. Now,
how long should these cancer and tumors last?
Until you eradicate all the toxins out of the body. We get rid of tumors all the time. I'm here. I mean, they know this. I'm here all the time. We get rid of tumors all the time, and the body gets rid of cancer all the time. I'm not a healer. I just help facilitate the healing. The body is a healer. I'll be disingenuous, and I will be on a high horse to say that I heal the body of anything. No, you have the power. Your body heals itself, and you can do this without buying herbs from me. That's how. It's not about the money. I'm a millionaire. It's not about the money. It's showing you who you are and the capabilities that the Creator gave you. A tumor. So, for instance, if you're constantly eating foods that you're not supposed to be eating, whenever you eat these foods get broken down and get delivered to the cell. When the foods get broken down and get delivered to the cells eat these foods on a micro level. Well, just like you have to defecate and go to the toilet, your cells defecate. They just don't have legs and they're floating on an interstitial fluid called lymphatic fluid, so they poop on top of them cells. Well, what's supposed to happen is the lymphatic fluid goes through the body and it picks up all of the metabolic waste from the cells and take it to lymph nodes. When it goes to the lymph nodes, you have macrophages and bacteria that breaks this food down. When you break this food down, these foods turn into acid. So they got to go through these lymph vessels, go to the kidneys, and then you urine it out through something called urea. That's what your metabolic waste break down to, potentially urea and creatinine, and then you urinate it out, right? So this is the crazy thing about this, right? If the food you're eating is mucus forming and is acidic forming, they start to burn the cell. When they burn the cells, it messes up the integrity of the cells, and then it starts sucking the oxygen out of the cells. So the cells are made to go in an anaerobic state. Anaerobic mean without oxygen. Aerobic mean with oxygen. So whenever the body goes through a stage where they have to proliferate, or if they have to survive without oxygen, something sets in. It's called mutation. These are your 4 stages of detoxification. But the actual allopathic community would tell you that it's the 4 stages to disease. The first one is deficiency. So whenever you're deficient of minerals, whenever you're deficient of amino acids, or whenever you're deficient of oxygen, the next thing that sets in is actually adaptation. So since I'm deficient and my body is a healing mechanism, I'm going to adapt to my environment for I can live longer, right? So what's going to happen in the cancer stage? I need to adapt. All right, I'm not getting enough oxygen. Well, let me create these parasites. Let me create these anaerobic lactic acid so I can live without the oxygen. And I'm just going to start gathering all these cells up and putting them in a bag. And then I'm going to steal blood supply called angiogenesis. Now I got my own blood supply, plus I'm getting rid of all the trash. So now we actually see adaptation to the cells. Well, since the cells have to adapt, now they have to mutate to survive. So we have deficiency, we have adaptation, then we have mutation. Now that's where they say the cells malignant cells because they mutated. They don't look the same no more. They shouldn't look the same. It had to change to live in the environment. These are hard healing steps. Then once they go through its mutation state, then major detoxification sets in. And this is where you start seeing symptomologies of cold and flu-like symptoms, coughing, sneezing, fever, inflammation, redness, swelling, and pain. Everything, all them symptoms I just said is a symptomology of a tumor. So is the tumor there to kill you? No, it's there to help you. Now, could a tumor can kill you? Yes, it can if it blocks blood flow. But anything can block blood flow. A traumatic experience, getting in a car accident can block blood flow that you can die of. So we can't blame it on that. It's kind of like you see me. A bank get robbed every week. Every week you see the bank get robbed. You see Yahki there. And the first thing you're going to say, that nigga Yahki have to be the robber. Because every time a bank get robbed, he's there. What happened if I'm there trying to save the bank from being robbed because I know the information and I know where they're going at next? That's the same thing that's happening with disease. We're blaming things on germs. We're blaming things on viruses. We're blaming things on all of this because every time you see the corruption or you see the evil standing of these things, you see something associated with it. But we never changed the perspective because we stuck in a European mindset and stepped outside the box and looked at it in a different way. Oh, every time I see Yahki at the bank when the bank is being robbed because he's trying to stop the robbers. Same thing with the parasites. They're trying to stop the robbers from the deficiency orders. Same thing with the bacteria or what we call these pleomorphic microbiotas that's in the body. They're trying to stop the issue. Whenever you see acids in the body, you're going to see a bunch of bacteria because bacteria is in the body to eat acids. It's supposed to keep everything at homeostasis. So the first thing they're going to say is you have a bacterial what? Infection. You're not infected with anything. The bacteria culturalized and overpopulated themselves for they can have enough people to eat the acids because if these acids stay on the cells too long, you will go into an anaerobic state and then the last stage of detoxification will kick in, which is what? Deficiency, adaptation, mutation. You see that? And then now you're creating cancer. We are too busy blaming the things in our body that's trying to heal our body as the actual criminals when the real criminals is the things that we've been putting in our mouths or the pollutants that they putting in the air or the contaminants that they putting in the water or the sun blocking technology they got right now or the actual nanobot technology they giving us through penetrating our skins and delivering certain types of things to the GMOs. To all these other different things. We're not looking outside of ourselves and blaming the real issue.